They say that information is a currency. Knowing the right information can make your life easier. You can make better decisions and be more informed about a situation. Enemy numbers, battle strategy and tactics are all valuable pieces of information and will give any fighter in a war zone an advantage over his enemy. Information can open a lot of doors. The humble flash drive, used by millions around the world to store and transport digital files and data. Being so small, it's easily moved and concealed. Since the Tarkov conflict began and the use of some EMP device, technology like this has become all but obsolete. Yet, there are still people out there who are actively looking for them. One of our contacts, Skier, tells us of a friend of his who used to run security for TerraGroup during the contract wars. This friend had supposedly stolen 2 of the secure TerraGroup drives and was willing to part with them. He tasks us with picking them up. Once we do, the drives disappear, never to be mentioned again. Another trader, Jaeger, gets wind of this and asks us to also find some drives for him. Again, they're spirited off without a word. But why are these drives so important to the traders, and what do they want with them, considering how much we have to go through in order to find them? The drives themselves are special. They aren't your standard type of USB device. They are Kingston Iron Key devices that boast 256-bit AES hardware-based encryption and a host of features, including an anodized aluminium enclosure and an epoxy-filled casing. They are dust and shock resistant and waterproof to military standards. The Enterprise model of drive even features remote central administration of drive access and usage across thousands of Iron Key devices, as well as can remotely enforce password and access policies and allow users to recover lost passwords. It can even let administrators repurpose the drives that are no longer in use. These are very powerful and secure tools that act not only as data storage devices, but also as network administration controllers. This leads us to the question of what were TerraGroup actually using these drives for? Even though there's no relevant information in game, and we can, of course, assume that they're all just classified files of some description, we can actually find some information about them in the Predator series of books. Our protagonist first comes across this type of device while he's looting an abandoned apartment in the city. He finds nothing of value and is about to leave when he spies a necklace with some kind of token on it. As a software engineer, he immediately recognises it as a flash drive and notices a strange inscription, TGG, which he assumes must be related to TerraGroup somehow. He goes on to explain. Flash drives like this weren't just handed out to anyone. They're not normal storage units. In certain situations, they can be used as a sort of key. There are some doors you can open with it, and it can also be used as a passkey to get through some security barriers. Later on, you find some TerraGroup documents that describe the keys in further detail. In order to minimise the potential negative consequences of an emergency evacuation, it's proposed that a number of special storage facilities be established and equipped within a period of 3 months. Provide autonomous power supply system for each special facility, for which work and equipment should be coordinated with Department 3K. In order to prevent access by unauthorised persons, it's necessary to provide several levels of protection. In connection to this, it's required to carry out retrofitting of the inlet locks with autonomous control and identification systems. Department 4C has to calculate equipment requirements based on possible duration of 3 years of instability. And Division B has to select and instruct a number of staff members from USEC operators and authorised representatives of the Technical Office, in accordance with the attached list. I won't spoil the rest of the books for you, but suffice it to say that the flash drives certainly do prove to be useful. So here we have an explanation of what the flash drives are actually used for, beyond storing some nondescript classified data. They allow access to one of a number of restricted TerraGroup facilities around Tarkov, built for the express purpose of a mass evacuation of their staff. Finally, we can see that TerraGroup certainly had advanced knowledge of the incident that started the crisis, and they were prepared for it. Although, it seems that they weren't prepared for Tarkov itself. The lab now stands in ruins, its contents looted long ago. Now we see why these keys are so important to the traders of Tarkov. Not only could they hold secure information, but they could also unlock doors to vast riches of equipment. If only we knew the real value of these flash drives earlier. For now, they're just something that someone will give us for money, and we're happy about that in this situation. But of course this begs the question of what exactly were the other TerraGroup access keys used for? Would these flash drives potentially give us access to some deeper level of restricted areas? I guess only time will tell. What else do you think the drives could be used for? Let me know in the comments.